prices of houses and flats,
Yeah.
it is very difficult.
I did go Ghana to catch a good time. So this pretty girl with
How much is your rent in London? Day 2. Guys, we are in Wandsworth. Let's go. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
So how long have you been in London?
I moved in literally last week.
Okay. Do you live here?
Yeah, I bought a shared ownership place actually, just
In
around
Wandsworth,
the corner. Yeah, Wandsworth. Yeah, next to Wandsworth Park.
So what are the challenges of getting a house in London?
For me personally, it was saving up the deposit to actually put down because house prices are ridiculous here, to be honest.
Okay.
But yeah, got there eventually. Yeah.
How much is that for?
Well, I paid 160 for my share of the flat.
Okay.
But I only own 25% of it, so.
Okay. How many rooms?
2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms. So what's your advice for anybody that wants to buy a house in London?
I would say as long as you can get that deposit, just be careful with your money, save up as best you can, and you'll get there eventually, I think.
Okay. One last question. How much deposit did you have?
I had to put down 10%, so
10% of the
16,000,
oh.
which took me years and years and years to save
Wow.
up. But
Congrats, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Cheers. Cheers, mate.
Like, I'm just asking, how much is your rent in London?
For the whole flat or just for?
Okay, are you living in a whole flat or a single room?
Flatmates.
Okay. So how much is it?
For the whole flat?
Yeah.
Like 3 grand.
3 grand.
Yeah, there's 3 of us.
How many rooms?
3 bedrooms.
So you guys share the rent?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the challenge of living in Wandsworth? Yeah.
Yeah, I live in Putney.
Putney.
Yeah.
What's the challenge of living there?
I mean, it's expensive.
It's expensive.
It's expensive everywhere in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your advice for anybody that's coming to London?
Like, keep looking. There's always places.
Okay.
But it's tough at the minute.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. And yourself?
How long have you been in London?
I arrived 10 years ago.
10 years, okay.
Yeah.
So what is the challenge of living in London, first of all?
Well, similar to living in big cities. So there is lots of movement, very often lots of people.
Okay.
London is it's pretty expensive in terms of rent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you renting now or you have your own property?
Now we have our own, but we spent the first 3 years renting.
Okay, that's good. So how was your challenge renting and now that you have a place?
I'll say it's much easier not renting.
It's much easier not renting.
Because the money you put in, it's it stays with you in the sense that you're repaying the loan that you've made to buy.
Yeah.
Whereas in a sense, renting long term, the money is wasted.
Okay. One last question. Now that you have your own property, what advice would you give somebody that wants to buy a house?
Well, the advice is try it in the sense that I think most people know that you're better off saving for a deposit to allow yourself to buy something.
Yeah.
But I think everybody knows that the challenge is that very often for young people arriving in London from outside, they're young, they've got a first job, and with the cost of living crisis in particular, and the increase in the prices of houses and flats, it is very difficult. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to actually save for a deposit and buy.
Yeah.
And I think, most people are aware of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Not at all.
Meet you. How are you?
Good, not bad.
All right. First of all, how long have you been in London?
A year now.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
From where?
No, a year now. From Dublin.
Dublin. Okay. How is London? How do you see London?
Good, yeah. Good. A lot bigger than Dublin anyway.
Yeah. So you live in where? Where do you live?
Live in Putney.
Putney. Okay.
Yeah.
How much is your rent there?
2,200 a month.
Wow, that's for a whole flat,
Yeah, two bedroom apartment. Yeah.
2-bedroom apartment. Okay. What was the biggest challenge of getting the room?
It actually wasn't that hard. It's quite easy process. We just found the place, went to view it, and then the next week then moved in. But that was last year though. I've heard it's gotten a lot harder.
Okay. How is rent in London compared to Dublin?
Kind of the same, except I feel like you get more for it in London. Because in Dublin it's quite small and you're paying the same amount. But over here it's obviously a high amount, but you're getting a lot more for it.
Okay. Do you plan to buy a house in London?
No, I'll probably move back to Dublin and buy a house there.
All right, thank you.
Alright, no worries.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite.
How are you?
Yeah,
Good, how are you?
How long have you lived in London?
13 years?
13 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
4 years.
So what's the greatest challenge of living in London?
Expense. Cost of living.
Wow.
For sure, hands down.
Do you guys live together?
We live together
Okay.
with another friend.
Which side of London do you live?
Battersea.
Battersea, okay.
And Wandsworth.
Okay, how much is your rent there?
We
First,
pay
you too.
1,700.
1,700.
Excluding bills.
Excluding bills.
How many rooms?
One bed.
1 bedroom.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that a lot?
Yeah.
Yes. It's a shitload.
What of you?
I'm in a 2-bed and I pay 800.
2 beds, 800. Yeah, I think
And my
that's
roommate pays rent. So
that's fair enough.
yeah.
So what was the greatest challenge of getting this place? Because of the rental crisis, people say it's really hard to get a place in London now.
Yeah, when we were looking, it was a year ago, it was very competitive and we had to go in above asking and put in quite a long tenancy agreement in order to get it. But I've heard from other people that they're putting in offers but they're not getting accepted because there's so many people.
Yeah.
I moved into my flat in 2021, so it wasn't quite as bad, I think, as last year. But I just found my room on spare room, so the rental agreement was already in place, so I just replaced a roommate in the room. So mine
Nice.
was not too difficult.
Are you guys happy with what you're paying?
No.
We're moving out.
Yeah.
I'm moving to the country where it's cheaper.
Oh,
Yeah, she's going traveling.
okay. So you guys are living in London
Yeah.
because of the rental?
Yes. It was cost of living.
I hope bring
Yeah.
the rental prices down.
Yeah. What one word, what advice can you give somebody that wants to move to London? Would you advise a person to come here or?
No,
I'm
London's
kidding.
great. Just be prepared and save up.
There are cheaper places around London. Yeah, so
If you're willing to live a little bit further out
Yeah.
of central, then it's cheaper.
Thank you. I appreciate you. all.
Cheers.
Good.
Bye.
All right.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of bird